Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see all of you and everyone who might be watching online as well. My name is Cantor Jonathan Friedman. I'm a good friend of Paul, Cantor Paul. We went to the same school. He graduated a few years before I did. We weren't students together, but we've developed a friendship over the years. I teach at that school, the Academy for Jewish Religion. I'm a professor of Jewish music history there, among other things. I guess for 13 years. It's my bar mitzvah there, actually. And I live down the street. So this is my first opportunity to really meet you and to be in this building. I was here several years ago. You probably don't remember. I don't even really remember that well. But I was doing a presentation with Paul at that time. So some of the layout is familiar, actually. Strangely familiar. I know it looks a little bit empty out here this evening, but you know all those Elijahs you invited into your Seders over the years? They're here, all of them. So in fact, this place is packed. So I think we'll begin, as we should, with Hine Matov, which is found on page 10 in your Sidurim. I know some of you might ask, what is this instrument that I'm playing? I got it at the folk music store down that way. It's an octave mandolin. So it's bigger than your normal mandolin, but it's a mandolin, if you're familiar with the mandolin. I like the sound of it. I hope you do too. Please join me. Hine Matov, how good and how pleasant it is that we're here together. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. I think we have some people here to light the candles this evening. The Loeb family. Let me help you out. Okay. You probably know the procedure here better than I do.
This one? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lecha ligner, lecha ligner, shel Shabbat. Amen. Good job.
Thank you. Let us continue now on page, I'm going to say 20, for Lecha Dodi as we welcome Shabbat. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekam vela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekam vela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ki mekor el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, v'shemu tiferet v'litehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha. Merosh mikedem nesu echad, nasof maaseh b'machshvat hila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kevorech uri uri, uri uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigna. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the opening to the sanctuary as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala
B'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela. May be seated. At this time, we will turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash mehi rabba Be'olma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon Uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael B'hagala Uv'hizman kariv V'yimeru Amen Yesh me rabba mevarach Le'alam ulal me'al maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'par v'troma v'yitnasei V'yitandar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei d'kudsham brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata Damiram be'alama V'yimeru Amen.
Let's read together the little paragraph at the bottom of page 27. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. We continue now with the Baruch Hu. I invite you to please rise if you are able.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'en Le'olam va'en La 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 la.
Please be seated. On page 29, the paragraph at the top, let's please read together. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is the one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nevarech, let us bless. We continue with Shema on page 34. can rise if that's your custom.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Let me ask you, do you stay raised for the V'ahavta, or do you sit? You sit. Okay, please be seated. You know your minhag better than I do. I will say that I am currently, a little plug or whatever, a little background. I'm currently, and have been for about a decade, leading a humanistic congregation, a humanistic Jewish congregation where everything is very particular to that group. If you don't know about humanistic Judaism, it's been around for about 60 years, and it's much more of a creative, cultural community. So I'm a little bit out of step with the Reform movement, I will say. That being said, I do know the V'ahavta. Let's do that on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We turn now to page 40 for Mi Chamocha. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped?
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורת יילוד אוסף אלה נורת יילוד אוסף אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך כהים לפני משה. זה לי ענו ואמרו, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש.
This time we will turn to page 42. Please join me in just the third line down from the top, Ufros Aleinu, spread over us the shelter of your peace. I hope you know this one.
Ufros Aleinu.
Sorry, wrong key. Here we go.
Ufros Aleinu. Sukan. Sukan. Shlomecha. Ufros Aleinu. Sukan. Sukan. Shlomecha. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ufros Aleinu. Sukant, Sukant, Shlomecha.
And I'm pretty sure you know this setting of Vishamru as we turn now to page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את אדוני לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
A little teaching. It's nice that we have air conditioning in here. I'm getting hot though. And these have been the hottest days of the year so far. The world is getting hotter. Our little corner of LA County is getting hotter every day, every year. In addition to the no longer ignorable realities of climate change, we are also reminded of the sun's awesome power. The desert-dwelling authors of the Hebrew Bible were well acquainted with blazing sunshine. The creation account conceives of the sun as a torch suspended in the firmament, created on the fourth day to have dominion over daytime. And of course, the moon has dominion over nighttime. The prophet Jonah describes the sun's heat as scorching and consuming. Sounds familiar. Deuteronomy reminds us that the sun is also benevolent, bringing forth the fruits of the earth. And the book of Ecclesiastes considers it a pleasant thing for the eyes to behold the sun. I guess without staring at it, of course. Elsewhere in the Hebrew Bible, the sun is used as a metaphor for lasting fame, an emblem of beauty, a symbol of victory, and a sign of the endurance of David's dynasty. The ancient Hebrews' reverence for the sun is enshrined in the names of several locations, such as Beit Shemesh, the house of the sun, and Ein Shemesh, fountain of the sun. There is evidence, actually, of sun worship at these sites, and the story of Samson, Shimshon, contains remnants of a sun god myth. Samson roughly means man of the sun. His flowing locks represent the sun's rays, and his power is dimmed when his locks, the rays of sunlight, are cut. So according to rabbinic thought, the sun's rotation produces beams and rays that can be heard on earth. The Talmud records different opinions regarding the color of the sun. One sage identifies its natural color as red, such as seen at sunrise and sunset. Another argues that the sun is actually white and only appears red when it passes through the red roses of the Garden of Eden in the morning and passes through the fire of Gehinnom, an ancient precursor to hell, in the evening. But the Talmud also notes the healing efficacy of sunlight. According to one legend, Abraham possessed a precious stone that healed the sick. After Abraham died, God set that stone in the sphere of the sun. So we all received that healing from the sun. Sunshine on Shabbat today is considered a comfortable and welcome treat, perhaps debatable on hot days like today. But like Shabbat, the sun is thought to be the foretaste of the world to come. Just don't forget to put on sunscreen. Shabbat Shalom. That's probably more than you ever wanted to hear about the sun. I apologize. Let us now continue with the Amidah, which will begin on page 46 in your Sidurim. Please rise. I think you can still hear me if I turn around. Okay. Adonai sifatai titachu fi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth
mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר אז באבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הדל, מחלקי לחיים וחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגיבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please join me, Oseh Shalom, bottom of page 62. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. This time, our hearts and minds turn to those who are in need of healing on this Shabbat We will continue on page 253 with the Mishaberach. I will read the list that I have, and you'll have an opportunity to add other names. If I mispronounce a name and you know that I'm doing it wrong, please correct me as well. Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Toback, Rosalind Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Polyakov, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Jennifer Rudin, Brad Holland, Serena Postal, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarski, Joan Morse, Naomi Kravitz, Myra White, Lori Snyder, Charity Reysadeh, Mike Klein, Barbara Fass, Joel Beasy, Gloria Foster, Rita Warshaw, Robert Gerard, Adele Harris, Brenda Faung Gerard, Ron Friedlander, Jan Marcus, Marla Fragoso, Al Shapiro, Jeff Nelson, Gina Eli, Robert Waldman, Barry Gustafaro, Udit Gratz DeLang, Eva Laxon, Alda Mendoza, Sharna Blitz, Eli Wakefield, Rob Scher, Audrey Kubel, Deborah DeLang, James Stead, Rita Elias, Benjamin Jones, Stephen Gilbert, Sharon Zaki, Nell Barron, Karen Rosenthal, Oliver Holland, Rabbi Malcolm Middleman. Do we have other names to add as well? Let us sing together the healing prayer of Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, renewal of body, renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And at this time, I believe we have announcements.
On behalf of your Board of Trustees, thank you for being here in the sanctuary and online this evening. Todah Rabbah to Cantor Jonathan Friedman for leading our Shabbat service in such a lovely way this evening. Appreciation also to Claudia Gonzalez for bringing our Shabbat service to everyone online. And appreciation to this evening's greeters, Harriet DiBasilio, Beth Litton, Judy Rose, and Kylie Sykes. After services, we gather in the social hall for refreshments and conversation. Thank you to our fellow congregants who generously donated desserts for tonight's Oneg. Few announcements. By now, we hope you have received and gone over your 2023-24 Temple Renewal Packet. As you fill in your packet information, please remember that your generous pledge keeps us moving forward at Temple Beth Israel and is our most significant source of income. Please remember that Mikey Ryan will lead us in our weekly Torah study at 9:30 tomorrow morning on Zoom. And this week at 7 p.m. Wednesday evening on Zoom only, Rabbi Kupitz and Rabbi Resnick will lead us in commemorating Erev Tish B'Av. More information about these and so many other events can be found in your July-August Kahila, in your weekly online Tikiyah, and on the TBI website. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. That was really a good job you did on the announcements. Yeah, beautiful. I listened to the whole thing. So at this time, we're going to do the Aleinu. And this is found on page 282. Another question about your custom. Do you open the ark for the Aleinu or not? Yes. Okay. I'm learning. So once again, that is on page 282. We'll do the conventional version, which it's been a while since I've used one of these. Sidurim. I believe it's the second one. Please rise. Seated. We now turn to page 294. We come to the Mourner's Kaddish. I have the list of yard sites for this week. And I assume some of these may be different periods of mourning, shloshim, etc. So forgive me if I don't know the details. Kristen Patra, mother of Patra Mack. Fred Burke, Judith Bosworth, Joseph Rubenstein, Harry Silks, Madeline Storer, Sandy Feingold, Ben Moschel, David John Myque, Herbert Ross, Hal Goldman, Judith Handelsman, Richard Tepic, Martha Dunn, Ruth Greenstein, Lillian Hecht, Zelda Horwitz, Ed Recken, Adele Savage, Robert Zipser, Esther Frank, Mildred Gazansky, Robert Gross, Naomi Sugar, Mayor Asher, Larry Bosworth, Bernard Lisker, Leon Salter, Nathan Schulman, Molly Sherman, Faye Strober, Maury Baker, Harry Dinzengoff, Abraham Elias, William N. Magaha, Rose Schumann, Wallace Wright. Any other names to add? I invite you, if you are in mourning or observing yahrzeit, or if it is your custom to do so, to please rise at this time for our Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yigadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divarach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please join me in one last prayer of peace, because we always need it. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Imrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in the social hall.